So I finished the deals page, and I want to show how it works and how it is implemented. So when we get to the deals page, we see the list of the deals, and we can filter them by cruise lines, ships, and cabin class. Also, there is a pagination. We can sort ascending and descending by any column in the table. Okay. So let me show how it is implemented. At first, I want to tell about how I organized our templates, UI templates, and the user interface itself. I decided to create the new Django application with name UI that will be intended for user interface, web user interface only, for the web frontend. It led us to have different frontends if required, for example, for some mobile or for something else. Then I changed our URLs a bit. So if we look at the top URLs of our project, we can see we have URLs from the admin, from all auth library, from customers that represents the profile, and from the UI that covers all the other URLs from the root of the project. Let's see how UI URLs are organized. For the moment, we have only home that is moved from the core application. It was in the core, and in the core we have no anything, any pages now, and I also removed templates from the core. So index page with road name home is under the UI now, and also we have 4 passes related to deals here. So we can see all deals from without filtering and filter them. This is a cruise line Slack. You can add filter by ship. This is a ship name, and by a cabin class. So this is a pass combined from the cruise line, ship, and cabin class Slacks. This is how it is handled by the Django. If you remember, the pass have a second parameter as a view function. This is a view function, and you can see we have all the deals handled by the same view function, deals with name deals, and it accepts cruise line, ship, and cabin class that can all be none, so can be not specified. If no cruise line or ship or cabin class are specified, then we will see the unfiltered deals page. If cruise line is specified, then then we get the current cruise line by the cruise line Slack and add some filtering of the price changes data. At first, we have all price drops here. So we filter price changes by current cruise line if have, current ship if have, and current cabin class if have. After all, we sort them by sorting order specified in get parameters, and also preparing a table. This is a new feature I want to show. So this is a not exactly base Django functionality, this one, but it's very useful if you need to show the tabular data. This table functionality, so this is a table, and this table is handled by the Django Tables 2 library, and it works as a Django form. We didn't have Django forms in our project yet, so I will postpone this comparison with Django forms, and I won't just explain how the tables, Django tables are organized. So we have we specify the model. We want to make a table form, specify fields. You know, it looks pretty similar we have in the admin. So for example, we have a price change admin class for the administrator, and we specify some fields here, and we can specify read-only fields, etc. So pretty similar here. I specify what fields I want to see in the table. I specify the template name I want to use to render the table, and this template is it's predefined in the Django Tables 2, but I updated it with some minor changes to fit perfectly in the Django in the Bootstrap CSS layout I use for styling the web frontend. I can also add some classes to the table, so this is for rendering, and I will write what the value, how the value will be rendered. For example, if we look at the fields, we have an old price, new price, and other fields. So for the old price, I specify the render method with the name render underscore and name of the field I will write the rendering for, and I return the price instead of the value itself. Let me show how it works if I will change, if I remove the render method. For example, this is a price drop %, and this is a render. So I format the % by somehow and add to have just 2 decimal points and the % sign. So let me comment out this field, this method, and let's see how it will be changed. You see, it became not user-friendly representation. So with these renders, we can make table columns to look perfect way. And the same I use for the age, for example, and probably, yeah, for sale. And this is it for sale. I show the sale date here, and also for the h. So here the last column with the name h, and originally in the price change data model we have just a timestamp when the price change was happening. But according to the reference here, I see here, and this is the h of this offer price drop. So I wanted to show something similar, and I format with my own function. Not exactly mine, because I took one from the Stack Overflow. So this is a table, and then I will show how it is rendered in total. This is a view function. For the deals, we prepare all the data. We prepare a table with price changes, filter it, prepare template context for the rendering deals.html with table, current cruise line, etc. And then in deals, I just call the render table template tag from the Django Table2 library, and it do everything, the rest of the work. Pretty easy. Okay, so I have as soon as I need to use Django tables, I load this library, and I also what I do also here. So this part of the HTML is the filter, this part. And I understood we have pretty similar functionality for the drop-downs, for the cruise line, ships, cabin classes. Maybe we will need to add some more filters later. So I decided to move this part of the template to subtemplate and created drop-down select template part. Django templates have very useful functionality, like functions in the normal programming language. So we can create a template functions, template parts that can be parameterized with some variables. So for example, when I include this HTML subtemplate, I specify some parameters: default name, current item. This is a current item if highlighted one, and also the list of items under this drop-down. And as you can see, I specify the same for all the drop-downs for the cruise line, for ships, and for cabin classes. I just specify different values for the current. For example, for current cabin classes, I specify current cabin class, and for the parent, in this case, I specify the current ship, and for the ship, for the current, I specify current ship, and for the parent, I specify current cruise line. You see, and all the rest work is done under this subtemplate. This is a layout of the Bootstrap group of the drop-downs. So this is styled by the Bootstrap CSS library, and what's interesting here? At first, I load here some libraries, Bootstrap 4. I used oh, it seems I don't use this library here. Let's check what will happen if I remove it. Nothing changed. Yeah, nothing changed, so I can remove Okay, and this library is URLs. This is not standard Django library, but it's our own library. I specify one under the UI template text module, and I define an extension for the Django text template text, and this is a simple tag. I will not go deeper into the Django template text extensions and just show how it works in our case, and maybe I will explain it later. So I create a function that accepts any number of parameters, and for the URL, as I need to specify this link for every cruise line or all cruise lines, every ship, etc. I specify the item and the parent. This is enough to understood what URL I should print. If not item or parent is specified, I link to the deals. The reverse. This is a special Django method that bring me URL by the name of the view, name of the URL. So we have URLs, this path and function and name. Here it is. So if I have not item or parent specified, I just need to show the general deals page. Deals from the application UI. If I have a cruise line item here, instance of, check the class of the object path. So if the item is cruise line, I link to the cruise line. If item is ship, I link to the ship with specifying cruise line slug and ship slug. If item is cabin class, as cabin class is not belongs to a ship, I need to specify the parent filter manually, and I specify it through the parent. So if the parent is ship, instance of ship, I link to the another URL, this URL with cruise line specified, slug and cabin class. Here it is. And in others case, this filter returns nothing. Let's discuss here what is correct in this case. So, for example, if somebody specify wrong parameters for this tag, what should happen? So, in Django, it is possible that the template is failed. But another option is if tag cannot render what's passed inside, it's also possible to do not fail and just return nothing. So it is up to implementation, and if we implement some library with template text extension that intended to be used for more than one project, probably it is a good idea to return some error, raise some error here. But for the moment, I keep it as is. Okay, so what else? When I started to implementing this page, I thought what is better, how it goes better, And another option to implement is to create some RESTful API that will return just JSON data for the cruise lines, ships, etc., and render everything on the client side with some JavaScript library, or as I proposed, to use some Elm language component created. But using of the Django templates, it's more simple, more easy way to go with almost native HTML with just a few extensions. So if in the future we will need to have more interactive without more interactions without reloading of the page, we can re-implement this. So there are too many options, and okay, there are some old files we are not required anymore, and okay. So I also started to implement the Finder page from here, but I reverted all the updates I did for the moment, because I think I should design the user interface at first, because I get too deeper into implementation and stuck with how it makes it better, etc. So for the moment it is all, and yes, I think that's all about the using of the Django features to make some interactive page.